communication is key. Whether you're on set or in life, communication is important. And if your buddy is super far away and you're trying to tell him to compose a shot right, and you can't yell that far, what are you going to do? Well, you're gonna use a pair of headsets. So I reached out to Synco to see if they would be willing to send me a pair of their XTalk XPro5 headsets. I had some jobs coming up where I really needed a good set of wireless comms, but also in the past I've needed some wireless comms, so I thought it was time to give some a shot. And because these are very budget friendly, I wanted to give them a good test, because on this channel I talk about gear that I love and that I like, and I also try to keep things low cost. I know that gear tends to get expensive the more that we buy, and so what I talk about, I want to make sure that the average Joe can afford, and I consider myself the average Joe. Now let me get this out of the way. If I review or talk about a product on my channel, it's because I like it, not because a company sends it to me. I was more than happy to send these back to Synco if I didn't like them, but I do like them, so I am making a review. They aren't paying me, they aren't seeing this video before it goes live. They have nothing to do with me other than they sent me this, and if I liked them, I'm making this video. With that out of the way, let's actually talk about these because they are incredible. Now, the first thing that I want to say is this is a set of 5 that they sent me, and they are their XTalk XPro5s, as I said. So they come in at a price point of around $500 for the set of 5, but if you go with a lower set, you obviously save some cost. Now, when it comes to headsets, there are a few things that I really need. So the first thing that I look for when it comes to headsets is connectivity. Now, do they stay connected? And this was my biggest worry because these are 2.4 gigahertz. That means cell phones, Wi-Fi, wireless handheld mics, everything is basically 2.4. So do these stay connected even though they're on the same frequency as everything else? And I can tell you that they do. We've been in scenarios where we're around 100 people, 50 people with Wi-Fi, tablets, phones, everything, and these stay connected. We haven't had any dropping issue except for when we get a far distance away, or we are between like 3 buildings, or there's, multiple buildings between us. So I can say for certainty that these stay connected, and I was very pleasantly surprised. And that was my biggest worry about these, was because they're 2.4 gigahertz, are they going to stay connected? But I can say with certainty they did. The other thing that comes with connectivity is how quickly and how easily do they pair together. When I rented a set of Hollyland comms, I had to pair them together. And I had to manually go in, figure out how to do it. And then once I paired them, they were paired. With these, I literally took them out of the box and they paired immediately. I mean, within seconds, they were paired. And I was kind of blown away because I was like, well, there's gotta be some way I have to pair them. No, literally, you take these out, turn them on, and they pair. These connect so quickly, so easily, and they stay connected, which is incredibly important. Then the next thing is the audio quality. This is where I would say it suffers, and I can tell that they are more budget friendly when it comes to the audio quality. There's a couple things that I look for when it comes to the audio quality, and that is the noise cancellation, how well it is to understand people when you are whispering, yelling, and all that kind of stuff. But then also just general communication and talking, how is it? So if you're able to talk at a normal volume, just you're on a normal film set, these are great. You can hear people, you can understand people, it's great. The problem is when you get into scenarios where you have to talk softer. So for example, because we film a lot of events and conferences, we can't always be talking at full volume. We sometimes have to whisper. And if there are other noises like a keynote speaker or music or things going on while you're trying to whisper or talk softly, into the mics, you can't hear people. We constantly were like trying to talk quietly, but not be able to hear the other people in the mics. You just can't understand them. So I am going to bring these findings to Synco because it could be that there's something with noise cancellation or whatnot. But I noticed that when you had the mic down and there was a keynote speaker on, you could hear that in the mics. But that is one thing that I noticed, is that if you're trying to talk softly, if you have like other noises going on, you're probably going to hear that through. It does a decent job of canceling out the noise, but it doesn't do a perfect job. So these are some things to note. If you can just talk in normal volume, you'll be fine, but you can't always do that in an event scenario. So that's why I'm saying, like, this is the part where it does suffer a little bit. And it is annoying because we do film a lot of events where we can't talk at normal volume. And so sometimes it gets hard to communicate. And then the last thing that I look for is battery life. And I can tell you that they say it's rated up to 24 hours, and I have no reason to believe otherwise. We did a 13-hour day and we still had battery at the end. So I don't know how much is left. You can't see on the battery, you can't see on the headset how much battery percentage is left. I can tell you that we never ran out of battery. They always stayed charged. There was no indication that the battery was going to die. And the other thing that's really interesting to note is that the batteries actually charge really fast. So if, let's say, you're gonna be on set for 16 hours, if you have a break, like a lunch halfway through, you could literally put these on to charge and they would probably be close to charged in that hour. They charge very quickly. So do I recommend these headsets? Because that's the question that I always ask myself before I make a video on a product. Can I recommend these? And the answer is yes. I can 100% recommend these headsets. And I'm going to continue using these headsets until they break because I've absolutely loved them. They've really helped us on set. They've really helped us in event scenarios. They've very much helped us when we've used these. And I am really thankful for Synco sending these out to me because they solved a huge problem for me, and I feel better recommending them to you all because they are so budget friendly. So if you haven't thought about some, go take a look at these and go pick them up. I will link their website in the description below, but I will also link to Amazon if they are on Amazon, affiliate link. But these are absolutely incredible, and they have really helped in a lot of ways with my work. So go check them out. And with that, I will see you in the next one.